If I should stay, well, I would only be in your way. So I'm gonna go, but I know I'll think of you each step of my way. Bittersweet memories, I guess that's all I'll be taking with me. Goodbye, please, let's don't cry, 'cause we both know I'm not what you need.
January 19th, 2026. Dolly Parton turns 80 years old. In an era where fame collapses overnight, where idols fall faster than they rise, where celebrity is loud, fragile, and disposable, one woman remains almost universally loved. No major scandals, no public meltdowns, no bitter feuds, just a smile, a laugh, and a voice that sounds like home. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Dolly Parton didn't survive 80 years in the spotlight by accident. She survived because she understood something most people never do. That power doesn't always need to be loud. This is not just the story of a singer. This is the story of how a poor girl from the Appalachian Mountains quietly became one of the most influential women in American history, while the world was too busy underestimating her to notice. This is Dolly Parton at 80. Dolly Rebecca Parton was born on January 19, 1946, in a one-room cabin in Sevier County, Tennessee. No electricity. No running water, 12 children, her father couldn't read or write. Her mother carried songs the way others carried heirlooms. They were not struggling artists. They were survivors. Dolly has said she remembers hunger, not as a concept, but as a feeling. Cold winters. Shared shoes. Meals stretched thin. And yet, music filled the cabin. Old Appalachian ballads. Church hymns. Stories passed through melody. Before Dolly could fully read, she could feel rhythm. And somewhere in that tiny cabin, something formed inside her. If I can sing, I can leave. Dolly wasn't just talented. She was observant. She watched how adults spoke to pretty girls differently. She noticed how women were judged faster, and forgiven less. She saw how attention could open doors, or close them forever. By the time she was a teenager, Dolly had already learned a hard truth. The world decides who you are long before you get to speak, so she made a choice. If the world was going to stare, she would give it something unforgettable to look at.
If I should stay, well, I would only be in your way. So I'm gonna go, but I know I'll think of you each step of my way. And I will always love you. Yes, I will always love you. Bittersweet memories, I guess that's all I'll be taking with me. Goodbye, please, let's don't cry, 'cause we both know I'm not what you need. But I will always love you.
The wigs. The makeup. The exaggerated curves. People assumed it was insecurity. It wasn't. Dolly modeled herself after the women society mocked, small-town beauty queens, working-class women who dressed loud because being invisible hurt more, she once said. I look like a woman of the night, because they were the prettiest women I ever saw. Critics laughed, executives underestimated her. And Dolly did what smart people do when they're dismissed. She listened. She learned contracts. She memorized numbers. She watched men negotiate while pretending not to understand. Her image made people comfortable, her mind made her powerful. When Dolly joined Porter Wagoner's television show in the late 1960s, her career exploded. But so did control. Porter chose her clothes, her songs, her schedule. And while the public saw harmony, behind the scenes, Dolly was learning another lesson. Talent without ownership is a prison. When she tried to leave, the threats came. Lawsuits, blacklisting, career destruction. So she did something no one expected. She wrote a song. I Will Always Love You. Not a romance. A goodbye. A graceful exit wrapped in tenderness. It worked. And decades later, that song would become one of the most profitable compositions in music history, proving that kindness, when strategic, can be unstoppable. In 1966, Dolly married Carl Dean. And then, she hid him. No red carpets. No interviews. No celebrity photos. Rumors exploded. Was the marriage fake? Was he controlling? Was Dolly hiding something? The truth was simpler, and rarer. Carl Dean didn't want fame. And Dolly understood something most celebrities learn too late. Love can't survive constant observation. So she protected it. In a world where relationships are content, Dolly chose privacy. That choice may be why, nearly 60 years later, the marriage endured. Then came 9 to 5. Hollywood expected comedy. Instead, Dolly delivered truth. The song, Tapping Nails on a Desk for Rhythm, became an anthem for working people everywhere. It challenged workplace exploitation, sexism, power imbalance. Suddenly, Dolly wasn't just entertainment, she was influence. And influence makes institutions nervous. Over the years, everyone wanted Dolly to take a stand. Politicians, activists, corporations. She rarely did. Not because she didn't care, but because she understood division. Once you choose a side, you lose half your audience. Dolly chose something else. Humanity. And that made her trusted by people who agree on almost nothing else. When Dolly announced Dollywood, people laughed. an amusement park in rural Tennessee. But Dolly wasn't building rides. She was building economic dignity. Jobs. Tourism. Opportunity. Dollywood didn't just make money, it made Dolly independent, uncancelable. While celebrities competed for attention, Dolly launched the Imagination Library. Free books. For children. Across the world. No politics. No ego. Over 200 million books distributed. She didn't announce it loudly. She just did it. And maybe that's why it worked. Dolly never denied cosmetic surgery. She joked about it. She never confirmed rumors about her sexuality. She laughed. She never explained herself. Because mystery protects longevity. Every time she chose humor over outrage, she disarmed critics. Kindness became her shield. In crises, wildfires, pandemics, disasters, Dolly donated millions. Quietly. When asked why, she said, "I had the money. No branding. No press tour. Just action." And slowly, the world realized something. Dolly Parton wasn't just nice. She was deeply ethical. At 80, Dolly Parton stands in contrast to everything modern fame has become. She didn't chase relevance. Relevance came to her. She didn't weaponize outrage. She disarmed it. She didn't demand respect. She earned trust. Dolly Parton didn't just make music. She made people feel safe. Seen. Less alone. She turned poverty into empathy. Sexism into strategy. Mockery into power. And at 80 years old, she remains something rare. An icon who didn't harden. One day, the music will stop. But the books will still be read. The jobs will still exist. The songs will still be sung. Because Dolly Parton didn't just leave a legacy. She built a foundation. And on January 19, 2026, we don't just celebrate her birthday. We celebrate proof that kindness, when paired with intelligence, can change the world.
Dad taught us great work ethic, and my mom taught us about music and about the spiritual end of things. But Mom and Daddy worked hard to raise a big old family, and we were just like so many of our neighbors. Everybody in that part of the country were poor people and just good people, just absolutely good people. And I think of Mom and Daddy all the time. I've carried them with me all the way through my life. and all those things from home that I remember that keeps me in touch and kept me from kind of going insane and getting caught off guard like so many of our artists do. But I just think that it was just about the way I grew up in the church and with our faith and with our music and just hopefully good principles and good values. Call in, I call out. I would say I have a fax machine and a flip phone, and that's good enough for me. Hey, I'm Dolly Parton, and this is Dear Dolly with People. I pray. And like I've said before, like I pray, and then if the troubles are that bad, I pray harder. Well, basically what I've always said, when I stand backstage, they say, well, what do you do to get ready to go on stage? I said, I pee and I pray. And that's kind of what I do. But I just kind of think about the fans, think about what I can say, and kind of anchor myself, and then just get out there and do it. Well, I often make jokes and say I am comfortable in my own skin no matter how far I've stretched it at times. I know who I am, and I don't try to be nobody else, and if that ain't good enough for you, too bad. Oh, no. Whatever I'm eating is probably on my book. I'm not one to mark it up unless there's really something I want to remember, depending on what kind of book I'm reading. But if I'm just reading a book, whatever I'm eating, if it's chili, I got a little streak of chili here and there. Sometimes I'll go back on my books. Not that I'm doing it on purpose, it's just that if I get time to read, then usually I'm going to eat something because I'm a hog. I would be more apt to have stuff on it and marking it up. Too bad. Well, I never got on electronic devices, so I didn't have to get off of them. I live in my own space, in my own world. I don't want everybody knowing what I'm doing, and I don't care what other people are doing. I have to live in my space. Like I was saying, I'm a very professional Dolly Parton. I'm a very private Dolly Parton as well. Do you think that I would get a minute's peace if everybody that wanted to talk to me could get to me whenever they wanted to? I call in, I call out. I would say I have a fax machine and a flip phone, and that's good enough for me. I'm a good mix of both when I'm in my own world. I never know who's going to come by. I like to put on a little makeup. I don't always wear the wigs, but I like to pull my hair up a little bit in a scrunchie. And, I usually wear my high heels, not necessarily this high, but I'm short. I got to reach my cabinets. I got to get to that food when I'm off, so I have to kind of have like different sizes of shoes for my house. But just a mixture of both, I think. Being comfortable and still keeping a little bit, just like with my husband when he was with him. I mean, it's like I wasn't going to come home after being dressed up for everybody else and come home and look like a slouch for him. So I always like to clean up and be kind of cute, for him. Well, if I was leaving a message for little 10-year-old Dolly with that tin can microphone even earlier than that, I'd just say, girl, you better know what you're wishing for, because it's just about to come true and you're going to be working your little country butt off. Everybody said, well, you're 80 years old. You're going to be 80 years old. I said, well, so what? Look at all I've done in 80 years. I just feel like I'm just getting started. I know that sounds stupid, but I think there's a lot to be said about age. If you allow yourself to get old, you will. And people say, well, how come you don't seem to get old? I said, because I ain't got time to get old. I ain't got time to dwell on that. That's not what I'm thinking about. I think, what? I'm going to be 80? They're going to celebrate me being 80? You know, not that anybody would want to celebrate that, But there is a celebration in the fact that I have done so much in that time and that I'm still doing it. I'm grateful for that. I mean, that's the joy of that. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. New things will come. I'm open to God every day, and whatever comes, I'll give it my best.
Ever feel that you're a joke, that people make fun of you?
Oh, I know they make fun of me, but actually all these years the people, has thought the joke was on me, but it's actually been on the public. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I can change it at any time. I make more jokes about myself than anybody, because I enjoy it. I know, like I say, I am sure of myself as a person. I'm sure of my talent. And to me, and I'm sure of my love and for life and that sort of thing, I'm very content. I like the kind of person that I am. So I can afford to piddle around and diddle around with makeups and clothes and stuff because I am secure with myself.
What do you think Dolly Parton's greatest legacy really is? Drop your comments and do subscribe to Idol Truth by Leaf as we uncover real stories behind the stars. Do wish Dolly Parton a happy 80th birthday celebration.